In the scorching crucible of early Earth, approximately 4.5 billion years ago, our planet was a hellscape of molten rock and toxic gases. No living creature could possibly survive in such conditions. And yet, here we are, complex organisms thriving on a planet teeming with biodiversity. The journey from that inhospitable inferno to our vibrant living world hinges on a profound paradox. The very forces of destruction that make volcanoes so terrifying are also fundamental to the emergence and persistence of life as we know it. When Mount St. Helens erupted on May 18, 1980, it unleashed a lateral blast that flattened forests across 230 square miles and ejected ash 15 miles into the atmosphere. The destruction was catastrophic, with 57 lives lost and vast ecosystems decimated. But within this devastation lay the seeds of renewal. Dr. Roger Del Moral of the University of Washington began studying the blast zone immediately after the eruption, documenting how life returned to the seemingly sterile landscape. His decades-long research revealed something remarkable. Within just a few years, pioneer species began colonizing the ash-covered terrain, initiating a succession process that continues to this day. What we witnessed was not just recovery, but transformation, explained Dr. Del Moral in a 2010 paper in the American Journal of Botany. The volcanic disturbance created opportunities for novel ecosystems to develop. This patterned destruction followed by renewal is not unique to Mount St. Helens. It reflects a fundamental relationship between volcanic activity and living systems that extends back to the very origins of life on our planet. Let us journey back 3.8 billion years, when Earth was still young. The atmosphere contained almost no oxygen. Instead, it was rich in carbon dioxide, water vapor, nitrogen, and sulfur compounds, many expelled by the planet's highly active volcanoes. The surface was constantly reshaped by tectonic activity, creating a dynamic landscape of volcanic vents, especially along the seafloor. It was in this seemingly hostile environment that life is thought to have emerged. In 2016, a team led by Dr. Helen Hansma proposed the mica hypothesis, suggesting that the energy from radioactive potassium, often found in volcanic rocks, could have powered chemical reactions between organic molecules sandwiched in layers of mica minerals. These reactions potentially led to the first self-replicating molecules. Meanwhile, other researchers focused on underwater hydrothermal vents, fissures in the seafloor from which geothermally heated water erupts. These vents create chemical gradients and energy sources that could have facilitated prebiotic chemistry. The discovery of the Lost City hydrothermal field in 2000, with its alkaline vents, provided a particularly promising setting for life's origins. As explained by microbiologist Dr. William Martin of Heinrich Heine University in Dusseldorf, hydrothermal vents create natural proton gradients across mineral membranes. These gradients represent a source of energy that primitive cellular systems could have harnessed, similar to how modern cells use proton gradients in mitochondria. The connection between volcanic activity and life does not end with origins. Throughout Earth's history, volcanoes have shaped evolutionary trajectories in profound ways. Consider the Great Oxygenation Event approximately 2.4 billion years ago, one of the most significant transitions in Earth's history. During this period, oxygen levels in the atmosphere rose dramatically, largely due to photosynthetic cyanobacteria. But what is often overlooked is how volcanic activity influenced this process. Submarine volcanoes released iron into the oceans, providing essential nutrients for these early photosynthesizers. As oxygen levels increased, much of this iron precipitated out as banded iron formations, distinctive rust-colored rock layers that serve as a chronicle of this pivotal moment in Earth's history. The geological record tells us that life and planetary processes have been intimately connected throughout time, noted geochemist Dr. Rachel Edwards in her 2019 comprehensive review published in Nature Geoscience. The rise of oxygen, perhaps the most transformative event in Earth's history, cannot be understood without considering volcanic inputs. Fast forward to 252 million years ago. The Permian extinction, the most severe mass extinction in Earth's history, wiped out approximately 96% of marine species and 70% of terrestrial vertebrate species. The primary cause? Massive volcanic eruptions in what is now Siberia. These eruptions released enormous quantities of carbon dioxide and methane, triggering catastrophic climate change. Yet even this apocalyptic event illustrates the dual nature of volcanic influence. While the initial eruptions caused devastating extinction, they also reset ecological systems, creating opportunities for evolutionary innovation. The mammals that would eventually give rise to our own lineage benefited from the ecological vacuum left by extinct species. Without this volcanic-induced reset, the age of mammals might never have dawned. Throughout geological time, volcanoes have continued to shape life through various mechanisms. They create islands where evolution can proceed in isolation, leading to unique species found nowhere else. The Galapagos Islands, formed by volcanic activity beginning around 5 to 10 million years ago, provided Charles Darwin with living evidence of evolutionary processes that helped formulate his theory of natural selection, published in On the Origin of Species in 1859. Volcanic eruptions also contribute vital nutrients to ecosystems worldwide. When Mount Pinatubo erupted in the Philippines in 1991, it ejected approximately 20 million tons of sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere. While this initially cooled global temperatures, it also led to the deposition of sulfur-rich particles across vast areas. These particles fertilized both terrestrial and marine ecosystems, stimulating primary productivity in ways that ripple through food webs. The fertilizing effect of volcanic ash is particularly significant in the oceans, where iron is often a limiting nutrient. Studies following the 2008 eruption of Kasatochi volcano in Alaska, conducted by oceanographer Dr. Roberta Ham, documented a massive phytoplankton bloom in the North Pacific. This bloom sequestered approximately 0.01 gigatons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, a small but measurable contribution to climate regulation. Even in our modern world, where humans have dramatically altered Earth's systems, the volcanic life connection remains fundamental. Consider the strange case of extremophiles, organisms that thrive in conditions that would be lethal to most life forms. In 1966, microbiologist Dr. Thomas Brock discovered Thermus aquaticus in the boiling hot springs of Yellowstone National Park, a geothermally active region shaped by an underlying volcanic hotspot. This heat-loving bacterium contained an enzyme, Taq polymerase, that would later revolutionize molecular biology as a key component of the polymerase chain reaction, PCR, a technique central to DNA analysis, medical diagnostics, and countless scientific advances. The discovery of extremophiles in volcanic environments fundamentally changed our understanding of life's boundaries, explained astrobiologist Dr. Lynn Rothschild of NASA Ames Research Center. It expanded our conception of habitable environments not just on Earth, but potentially on other planets as well. Indeed, the volcanic life connection has implications that extend beyond our planet. Scientists studying potential habitats for life on other worlds focus intensely on evidence of past or present volcanic activity. Jupiter's moon Io is the most volcanically active body in our solar system, while evidence suggests that Mars, Europa, and Enceladus all have or had volcanic or hydrothermal activity. The recent detection of phosphine in Venus's clouds, announced in 2020 by a team led by astronomer Jane Greaves, raised the possibility of microbial life in Venus's upper atmosphere, perhaps supported by nutrients from the planet's extensive volcanic activity. The volcanic influence on life operates across multiple timescales. In the short term, eruptions can destroy habitats and cause local extinctions. Over intermediate timescales of years to centuries, they contribute to soil formation and ecosystem succession. And over geological timescales of millions to billions of years, they drive planetary cycles of key elements needed for life. One of these critical cycles is the carbon cycle. Volcanoes release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, which acts as a greenhouse gas, warming the planet. This CO2 is eventually removed through weathering processes when rain, made slightly acidic by dissolved CO2, reacts with exposed rock. These reactions produce bicarbonate ions that wash into the oceans, where marine organisms use them to build shells and skeletons of calcium carbonate. When these organisms die, their remains can form limestone deposits, effectively locking away the carbon. Over geological time, these limestone formations may be subducted beneath tectonic plates, where the carbon is released through volcanic eruptions, completing the cycle. This long-term carbon cycle, elucidated by geochemist Robert Berner in the 1980s and 1990s, serves as Earth's thermostat. Without volcanic emissions of CO2, our planet would eventually cool as carbon became increasingly locked away in rocks. Conversely, without weathering processes to remove CO2, volcanic emissions would cause runaway greenhouse warming. The balance between these processes has kept Earth's temperature within ranges suitable for liquid water and therefore life for billions of years. We live on a Goldilocks planet, observed climate scientist Dr. James Hansen in a 2008 presentation to the American Geophysical Union. Not too hot, not too cold, and volcanic processes are key to maintaining this balance. The nitrogen cycle represents another vital connection between volcanic activity and life. While nitrogen makes up 78% of Earth's atmosphere, most organisms cannot use it directly in this form. Volcanic eruptions produce lightning, which can fix atmospheric nitrogen into more reactive forms that can be used by living things. Additionally, high temperatures in volcanic environments can break the strong triple bond of atmospheric nitrogen molecules, making this essential element available to organisms. In 1996, biochemist Günter Wachter proposed the iron-sulfur world hypothesis, suggesting that life might have originated on iron sulfide minerals common around hydrothermal vents. These minerals could catalyze the formation of complex organic molecules from simple compounds like hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide. Subsequent laboratory experiments by Dr. Harold Morowitz and others have demonstrated that such reactions are indeed possible under conditions simulating early Earth's volcanic environments. Perhaps most remarkable is how volcanic processes contribute to genetic diversity itself. In 2007, scientists at the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory identified natural glass-like material called obsidian that contained microscopic bubbles filled with liquid water. These inclusions harbored diverse communities of microorganisms that had potentially been isolated for thousands to millions of years, evolving independently from their surface counterparts. Such volcanic microhabitats may serve as evolutionary laboratories, generating novel genetic adaptations that can later spread to broader ecosystems. Even the threats posed by volcanic activity have shaped evolutionary adaptations. Some plants in volcanic regions have developed resistance to high levels of toxic metals commonly found in volcanic soils. The Italian ryegrass growing near Mount Vesuvius, for instance, can accumulate levels of arsenic that would kill most plants. Studies by botanist Dr. Elizabeth Pilon-Smits at Colorado State University have revealed that such plants often employ specialized proteins to sequester or transform these toxic elements. The human story, too, is interwoven with volcanic influence. Archaeological evidence suggests that early humans were drawn to volcanic areas for their abundant resources, including obsidian for toolmaking and fertile soils for agriculture. The earliest known human habitations in Europe, dating to approximately 1.8 million years ago at Dmanisi in Georgia, were located near volcanic highlands that provided both resources and protection. Human evolution and migration patterns have been significantly influenced by volcanic landscapes, noted paleoanthropologist Dr. Ricardo Evers in his 2017 book Fire and Human Origins. These environments offered both challenges and opportunities that shaped our physiological and cultural adaptations. Today, approximately 800 million people live within 100 kilometers of active volcanoes, benefiting from fertile soils while accepting the inherent risks. The relationship between human societies and volcanic activity represents a microcosm of the broader volcanic life connection, a mixture of creative and destructive forces that has defined life on Earth since its inception. As we look to the future, understanding this relationship takes on new significance. Climate engineering proposals sometimes draw inspiration from volcanic processes. The cooling effect following major eruptions like Pinatubo has prompted suggestions for intentional stratospheric aerosol injection as a potential response to global warming. Meanwhile, enhanced rock weathering, accelerating the natural process by which volcanic rocks remove CO2 from the atmosphere, is being investigated as a carbon capture strategy. Our growing understanding of the volcanic life connection also informs astrobiology, the search for life beyond Earth. NASA's Planetary Science and Astrobiology Decadal Survey 2023-2032 prioritizes the exploration of volcanically active or formerly active worlds as prime targets in the search for extraterrestrial life. As astrobiologist Dr. Penelope Boston noted in a 2016 interview with Science, follow the volcanic activity, and you might just find the life. The story of volcanoes and life reveals a profound truth about our planet: what appears destructive from one perspective is often generative from another. The same forces that can obliterate ecosystems in minutes also create the conditions for life's emergence and diversification over geological timescales. This relationship exemplifies a broader pattern in nature that disturbance and renewal are not opposites but partners in a continuous dance of creation. Perhaps most humbling is the realization that our very existence depends on this dynamic. The carbon in our cells, the oxygen we breathe, the stable climate that allows our civilization to flourish, all are products of volcanic processes operating across billions of years. Even our DNA replication relies on magnesium ions, often derived from the weathering of volcanic rocks. As we gaze upon an erupting volcano, witnessing its awesome, terrifying power, we are not just observing a geological phenomenon. We are looking at one of the fundamental engines of life itself, a reminder that creation and destruction are not opposing forces but complementary aspects of Earth's remarkable capacity to generate and sustain complexity. In the most literal sense, we are children of volcanic fire, our existence inseparable from these powerful geological processes that have shaped our world from its fiery beginning to the living planet we inhabit today.